What if I told you that building real long term wealth does not require a six-figure salary, a finance degree, or even owning your own home first? In fact, some of the most financially secure people I know are young professionals who started investing in rental properties in their 20s or their early 30s, even with limited experience and very average incomes. So the question is, why not you? I'm Ben Danholm. I'm a real estate marketing expert and a broker owner with Maxim Realty Orlando, right here in Central Florida. And what I do is I help people just like you, first time investors, young professional, basically regular folks with 9 to 5 jobs, build wealth through smart rental investment right here in Central Florida and throughout the state for that matter. And my job is quite simple. I help you find high performing rental properties, both on the market and off market. And I connect you with trusted property management companies, trusted CPAs, and everyone else you need to grow your business so you can grow your portfolio without getting overwhelmed. And sometimes even without doing a lot. Consider it a passive investment. If you've ever thought real estate investing was too expensive, too risky, or just a little bit too complicated, I suggest you stick around because this video is definitely for you. And let's start with this. Why don't more people invest in real estate, even though it is one of the most proven paths to wealth? Well, I don't know for sure, but here's what I hear all the time. I don't know where to start. I don't have enough money. I'm afraid of making a mistake. I don't want to deal with tenants. Any of these things, thoughts that you've had and thoughts that have kept you back from investing in rental properties. See, I'm honestly not here to pretend that these concerns aren't real because they really are. But here's the truth. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be a real estate expert. You don't even need to manage your own properties. What you do need is the right strategy, the right properties, and the right guidance. Those things are what changes everything. So allow me to walk you through how building a rental portfolio can build really serious wealth for you and how you can do it step by step without too much problem. So let's talk about what makes rental properties so powerful. So here's what makes it so powerful to invest in real estate in as compared to almost any other investment. With real estate, rental properties, you get cash flow. You collect rent every month. And if the property is set up right, that rent pays your expenses and leaves you a profit, and it goes right into your bank account without you having to do much. You get appreciation. Over time, property values tend to rise. There is not a time in history where property values haven't gone up over time. There have been short dips for very short periods of time, but over a time period of 5 to 10 years, property prices have almost always gone up. That means that your rental property becomes way more valuable, especially in a growing market like Central Florida. It pays off your loan. If you use financing, your tenants are basically helping you pay off the mortgage, which is why we often say to tenants, stop renting. Don't pay off somebody else's mortgage, pay off your own mortgage. But there will always be people who, for whatever reason, need to rent, and that's what you can benefit from. And that fact that your tenants are paying off your debt every single month is where you're building equity every single month in that property. Rental properties have tax advantages that most other investments don't have. You can deduct expenses, you can depreciate the property, and sometimes there are even more advantages. In some cases, you can make thousands in rental income and pay little to no taxes on it. There are not many other investments, if any other investments, where you can do that. Owning a rental property gives you leverage. With real estate, any real estate, you can use other people's money, like the bank's money. You can use other people's money to buy assets that grow in value. The asset is the property you're buying. That's a huge multiplier effect. That means that with the right strategy, you can build a massive portfolio with little to no money of your own. If you compare that to stocks or crypto, where your returns are based purely on buying low and hoping it goes up and maybe get a little bit of dividend. This is a game changer compared to that. So why should you invest, and why am I talking about Central Florida? Well, let's talk about why Central Florida is a really good place to have rental properties. We are still seeing a significant population growth here. People are moving here by the thousands every month still. That means there's a steady demand for rentals. Central Florida is an affordable entry point to Florida compared to Miami or even parts of Tampa. Central Florida has neighborhoods where $250,000 to $300,000 buys a great rental property. We're also seeing a huge job diversity here. We're not just having tourism jobs here, even though people working in tourism are great tenants because a lot of them prefer to rent because they're partly transient workers. But we're also seeing a massive growth in healthcare jobs, tech jobs, apart from the growth in tourism jobs around here. So the job market in Central Florida is really strong. That makes for reliable tenants. We also have lots of education people here, colleges and young professionals. So the region is perfect for long-term renters. And here's the kicker, if you like. You don't have to guess where to buy. That's where I come in. That's what I do for you. So how do you get started with your first rental? Well, let's talk about what that process really looks like, because it's not as intimidating as it seems. Your first step would be to define your budget and your goals. We will look at how much you're working with, how much money you have, whether you're buying solo or with a partner or through financing. I can even put you in touch with some really good financing people. And some people start with as little as 5 to I cannot say that, 5 to 10% down using specific loan programs for that. So you can get into this with really very little money. Step number 2 would be finding a cash flowing property. And that's where I come in again. I can source cash flowing properties both on market or off market. And off market properties are the ones that you won't find if you're just browsing Zillow. Off market properties are literally what it says on a tin. They are off the market, but we can find those for you. And then we can run the numbers together so you know exactly what kind of return to expect when you found a property. And that will be step number 3, that we're running the numbers. We look at the rent projections, we look at your expenses, your mortgage costs, and everything else. And you can see what your cash flow look like, and we can do this all with your financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor, but I can help you set this up, and then I can put you in touch with somebody who can tell you if that makes financial sense for you specifically. We can also look at the appreciation potential and how that fits with your long-term goals. Are you saving for your kids' college? Are you saving for your retirement? Are you just saving to be able to quit your job when you're 45? Lots of things you can use a rental property for. And then step number 4 would be to assemble a team. Do you want to be an active, hands-on landlord? That's fine. Or if you don't, we can refer you to reliable property managers who can handle the tenants, the repairs, and the day-to-day operations. So you literally don't have to do anything else than collecting your check every month. Might be a little more than that, and you might want to look at the numbers when they come in every month and maybe have a meeting with your property management from time to time. But generally, you don't have to invest too much time if you actually outsource everything. And believe me, you can still make money off of rental properties doing that. Step number 5 is the fun part, the easy part. Close the deal and start collecting rent. Once the deal closes, you're officially a landlord without having to be landlordy, if you like, because your tenant could pay rent to your property management, your property builds value, and you start building wealth. And if you repeat that process every so often, that could be every year, every 6 months, every other year, depending on your finances and the cash flow from your property, you can build a portfolio that pays you for life and potentially enables you to retire early and do nothing more than sit in the sun with your drink. Because that is the power of a portfolio, not just one property. Owning one property is great. It can give you some income, but owning a whole portfolio, that's where the whole magic happens. And the fun part is once you start owning a few properties, it actually becomes a lot easier to grow that portfolio exponentially. So imagine this. You own 4 rental properties, and if we talk cheap properties, they might cash flow you $400 a month each. That's $1,600 a month in income on top of whatever job you have. On top of those $1,600 a month, you're building equity, you're getting tax breaks, and you're growing your net worth every year. In 10 to 15 years, those properties could potentially be paid off and bringing in maybe $4,000 or more a month forever. $4,000 or more in income forever. But if you don't stop there, once you've got the 4 properties you built onto that property, you can see that this could exponentially grow into an income that is bigger than whatever job you have. That's the true power of building a portfolio. But it all starts with just one deal. So here's my question for you. What's stopping you from buying your first rental property? Is really anything stopping you, and what is it? Let me know. Drop your comments. Drop your answer in the comments. As always, I read every single one and I respond to every single one. And I would really love to hear what your biggest question or concern is when it comes to buying a rental property and building your portfolio. And if you're even thinking about getting into real estate, but you don't really know where to start, I'd love to help. You can click one of the links below and schedule a completely free and no obligation strategy call. Or you can give me a call. My phone number should be on the screen. If it's not, let me give it to you here. It's 407-288-0704. That's 407-288-0704. We can have a short talk about your goals, your budget, and I can show you what kind of rental properties are available right now in Central Florida. And just because a property isn't listed as a rental property doesn't mean that it cannot become a rental property. And all of this, obviously, without no pressure, just a real conversation about how together we can build your financial future. Remember, you don't need to be rich, you don't need to be experienced, or even lucky to succeed in real estate investment. You actually just need to get started. So if you're ready, I'm more than happy to help you take this first step. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you subscribe, don't forget to hit that little notification bell, because without that, you're probably not going to be notified anyway if I upload videos. And if you really enjoyed the video and you found it useful, you might want to watch the next one. And if you do, I'll see you in the next one.
Hey, it's Ben Danholm, and listen, if you don't follow this channel, there's a good chance you'll never see me again. I consistently create helpful content for those who are currently in the real estate market. This information can be extremely helpful for your buying and selling needs, so be sure you like and subscribe here. And most importantly, leave a comment to let us know if this video was helpful for you. We're here to help the Central Florida community, and we always love your thoughts and questions. Follow now, and I'll see you with our next helpful video.